Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Mortgage Coach Friday Mastermind. Every Friday, 9 o'clock, we are here with amazing mortgage and real estate professionals, mastermind to make you guys more successful. I mean, this call, when Todd and I founded it, gosh, Todd, has it been over 4 years now?
I think it's over 5. It's been a while, but let's just say over 4 to be safe.
Yeah, over 4 years, every Friday, we've been bringing in great people. And it was all about productivity, how to be more productive, how to be more efficient. And one of the ways that we think you need to be more efficient is to be a better advisor for your advice to actually have tangible value. Today, we're going to dedicate this mastermind to just realtors. How can we as mortgage advisors be more valuable to real estate agents? And then why do real estate agents love mortgage coaches? So we've got a couple of videos that we're going to play at some point during the conversation. And then we're super pumped. We also have an awesome realtor. We have Brandy, Landon for the first time. And Brandy, I assume you're within driving distance of Michelle Castle in Texas, outside of Dallas?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So before I put you on the hot seat and ask a little bit more about your practice, we got Todd Bookspan as my wingman to help moderate it. We got Deborah Bird. What's up, Deborah?
Can we just notice that Todd, are you wearing a button-up shirt?
Yeah, I've got a job interview at Wendy's today. I'm applying to be the manager.
I was like, wow, look at that. No
Yeah,
t-shirt.
we already had a whole little preamble and prep on that. You missed it.
I'm just trying to elevate.
We all noticed a different Todd.
I knew we had a realtor here tonight. I really wanted to impress Brandy and look good. And I mean, I think Dave, you nailed it, right? Our whole goal is to be more efficient and help people be more productive. And we know that the TCA is a way to do it, but I think it's also great when we've got a real estate agent who teams up with a mortgage coach who understands that the transaction works better when everyone works together. And the transaction works better and more efficient when someone's using mortgage coach, because that streamlines the client's clarity and understanding of the process and what the mortgage is that they're getting and that total cost over time. So it's like my favorite subject we've had in a long time. I'm super excited as we unpack it.
I am too. And then we got 2 loan officers and 1 realtor. We got Sosi Avila, who is clearly next gen, badass mortgage pro. He's an advisor. Sosi, how are you doing, man? And where are you going to end up the year in fundings?
What is up, everyone? I'm doing so well. Thank you. We're going to be ending the year around about 92 million for us this year, helping about 180 families, which I'm really excited about, especially seeing that it's going to be a really great foundation for next year.
Yeah, well, you've definitely taken your social media game to the next level. You entertain and educate me, edutainment. So thank you for leading the community and being such a great edutainer. And anybody, guys, Sosi is a red belt Grandmaster mortgage coach. He's done well over 1,000 TCAs. We've got Michelle Castle. What's up, Michelle?
Hello.
So how is your team rocking it? Where are you guys going to end up the year?
We'll be a little over 360 units.
Congratulations.
That's like, $25 million in Texas, but no, I'm kidding. Not
I know you are,
but
but it's not SoCal, So he's in a different market. But hey, helping 300 families a year is just amazing. And then, as everybody knows, Michelle's also a coach, a mentor, just an amazing human being that I think everybody in the mortgage industry should aspire to be a little like Michelle. So let's get to know Brandy a little bit more. Brandy, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about, your real estate practice, how long you've been doing it, what you're, whatever you want to share.
Okay, sure. So I've been in the real estate business for a little over 4 years now. I opened my company my first year in the business. So that was interesting, but I own a brokerage, Milestone Premier Properties, and we do property management. We also help people buy and sell. And then I do real estate investments myself. So we have an office in Denison, and
you build homes.
I do a little bit of everything in real estate, or I dabble a little bit of everything. So we've got a great business going, and we manage a little over 200 rentals right now, just in the Denison and Grayson County area. And then I have a team we only have about 4 sales agents right now, but my goal in the future is to kind of build up that sales team, but we've really been focusing on the property management and investment side in the past couple of years. So
how many homes are you, helping people buy and sell? Just ballpark it.
In the last 4 years, I've done almost 400 transactions. So I'm sitting at almost 100 a year in personal production.
Well, first of all, congratulations. So
Thank you.
everybody think about that. So she's doing 100 transactions a year with her team. She's building a brokerage. She's investing in real estate, and she's built a 200 door rental property. I mean, you're an incredible real estate entrepreneur, and thank you for making time for the community.
Hey, can I give a shameless plug for Brandy?
Please.
So Texas is a great area to be investing in real estate. And Brandy does she's got this great business plan. Well, her brain is just amazing. And she comes up with all kind of really great strategies. But one of that is to help investors find homes and purchase those homes, and then, managing the property. So it's like full service for investors that are looking to invest in real estate in Texas. Pretty good, darn good place to be putting your money. So Brandy really can help you out and putting your money in the right place so it makes money and collecting the money.
Brandy, were you also at Amplify Live with us in August?
Yes, I was.
Isn't that crazy, guys?
Yes.
She attended.
So she's an amplifier. Renee Rodriguez,
Michelle,
check it out.
Yeah, Michelle brought her to Vegas, and we got to enjoy a little cocktail on the pool.
Yes, we
And
did.
that's when I first met Brandy. But I thought that was pretty cool. Not a lot of agents. I feel like that already qualifies you as pretty special to attend an event like that. And although it was Amplify Live and he does smaller group settings, but Michelle, what a gift for you to do that with her and strengthen y'all's team. That's awesome.
That sounds like a whole interview right there, is just how to build that kind of strategic relationship with, people that are values match, that are killing it in markets and going to events and growing together. So Michelle, if you and Brandy are cool, I think that'd be a fun call just to have you two for an hour and talk about that.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. Well, let's get into the topic at hand, which is why real estate agents love Mortgage Coach. And guys, before we get into this, it's not about the technology. Oh, I like it, this app. It's all about communication. Realtors like it when loan officers communicate efficiently and effectively with their borrowers, and they like it when they're in the know. So it's really just about improving one of the core value props for every local mortgage professional, which is, hey, communication is important to you. Let me show you how I do that efficiently and effectively. So what I'd like to do first is we're going to play a video of one of Michelle's other realtors that she partners
and he
with.
might pop in here in just a few minutes. He texted and said, so watch for him.
Okay, so if he pops in, we'll hear in person. But let's set the table with this. I do want to give shout out to the Mortgage Coach Instagram. If you're not following this, you should.
Oh.
We try to put things on Instagram that have value and inspire you and make you think. Here's 3 realtors that have made a 1-minute video. Actually, one of them, Cory did 2 minutes. So, but check it out. Make sure you're following this and give it a like. So let's play this, and hopefully you guys can hear it on my screen. If you're not hearing it, interrupt me so I can.
My name is Cory with the Mills team at Keller Williams Realty here in Sherman, Texas. And I work closely with Michelle Castle over at Guild Mortgage. One of the many things I love about working with Michelle and her team is the fact that they leverage the Mortgage Coach. This allows buyers and sellers to make informed financial decisions throughout the transaction process. Whenever I send a buyer over to Michelle, she's able to give them a total cost analysis breakdown that shows their entire financial picture, not just what their interest rate is and what their payment's going to be. She's able to coach them on potentially paying off some of their consumer debt, high interest rate credit cards, car notes, stuff like that. They're not just going to be rolling equity from their current home into their new home. And a lot of times that has a drastic effect on what their net cash flow is in their household each month. And that's what we're all about, is making sure that we're putting our buyers and sellers in the best financial situation possible. It also allows her to do an apples to apples comparison whenever a buyer comes to us and says, hey, I've gotten a pre-approval letter and a quote from another lender. What are your thoughts on it? She can break down and she can go over what the closing costs are and how that stacks up. She can also break down what the interest rate is, and she can show buyers how much more in interest they might pay by going with the other lender. And sometimes it's hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 30-year period. And that's a huge difference to a family and their retirement and just being able to put themselves in a better financial situation. These are just a few things that I love about the Mortgage Coach. And Michelle's team does an amazing job of making sure that not only myself, but especially my buyers and sellers are educated on making that informed financial decision. So if you're a mortgage professional and you're not using the Mortgage Coach, I highly recommend it. It's only going to help you. It's only going to help your consumers. And if you're a real estate agent, you need to partner up with a lender immediately who is leveraging this system. I will give another shout out to Michelle because she's amazing. So anyways, I highly recommend the Mortgage Coach and I stand by the product. I've actually personally used it whenever I've had my mortgage done with investment properties and things of that nature. And I've been able to see from a consumer standpoint just the power of having options and knowing which route I'm going to go. So the Mortgage Coach is amazing. I hope this was helpful and I appreciate you guys. The Mortgage Coach has been an absolute game.
Oh, sorry. I didn't stop it right there, but we got to stop. So, I mean, obviously I'm Mr. Mortgage Coach, so I love that. I thought that was super on point. Michelle, anything you want to say before we ask Brandy's thoughts and what she loves about your
Wait,
service?
he's
of
here.
Mortgage Coach?
He's here. I see him.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
perfect
God.
timing. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? We like your name here is Michelle, but how's it going, Cory?
I don't know how that happened, but I'll stick with it today. Yeah.
Hey, it's good to have you. First of all, thank you for putting that into a video that we could share. And what you said made a lot of sense. I mean, one of my themes is it seemed like everything you were describing were just services that Michelle and her team deliver that they're able to deliver more efficiently and more effectively because of this platform.
Absolutely.
Michelle, anything you want to say before we talk to Brandy a bit?
No, there were a couple of things that Cory mentioned that I want to make sure that we talk about in the Mortgage Coach community. Number one is, most of the time, someone has already talked to another lender. And we can see it when we pull a credit report and you're looking at inquiries. And then, as soon as you pull someone's credit report, their information is going to be sold by the bureau. So chances are they're going to be hit up by other lenders. So I think that the importance of that realtor lender relationship to prepare the customer that they're going to be called by other lenders. They're going to be texted by other lenders, and they're going to be emailed by other lenders if an email number is public record. So the real estate lender relationship is super important so that there is that explanation that, hey, you're going to be hit up by other lenders. I understand you might even feel compelled to shop, but let me explain what you can expect in the difference in lenders. So it's really important to have that conversation with your with your realtor partner. And so Brandy and Cory understand that process. They understand what our value proposition is, so they can have that conversation with their client up front. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Cory, how much time do you have with us before you need to jump, just so I can kind of time your talk time?
I am fairly flexible, probably like 10 to 15 minutes or so, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's do this. Let's hear from Brandy, because we kind of heard your 2 minutes, and then we'll have you interact. And by halftime, by 9:30, I want to make sure we're bringing Sosi into the conversation. So Brandy, I don't know if you've heard that video before, but what do you like about Mortgage Coach, and what are some of the features and functions that are most valuable to you and your families?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually seen that video a couple of times on Cory's social pages and out there in the social world. But I have a fun story real fast before I get started. I'm sure it'll wrap into it. But Cory, before I was a real estate agent, I actually met Cory at a property as a buyer. And, I just called a random agent. I don't know if you remember this, Cory. So, but it was on my Fairway property in Sherman, and I was a buyer and I didn't know how the process worked. So, he met me, showed me the property, try to make that connection. And I ended up calling the listing agent on it instead and going directly with the listing agent, not really knowing how the process worked. So I think when we're talking about just in general as a consumer, it's really important that real estate professionals educate the consumer on how everything really works. And I think that's kind of where we have to start. And so a lot of that comes with, communication, having great relationships with lenders, and just being very confident in what you're talking about to the buyer or the seller. And then, of course, the mortgage coach is great whenever you're discussing numbers. And I think a lot of real estate professionals or realtors in general are scared to talk about numbers with their buyers. They kind of push it over to the lender and they're like, oh, just talk to your lender about that. But I'm a numbers person. I come from a numbers background. So I love talking to buyers about numbers and knowing how much money they have out of pocket, what their financial situation looks like, so that we can make sure that we put the best offer in for them. And Mortgage Coach definitely helps with that. And of course, Michelle is fantastic about using that. And then the total cost analysis, really understanding, what the different scenarios might look like for a buyer and making sure that we're putting them in the best situation for their real estate goals.
Michelle, any questions or comments around that?
No, because I want to make sure we have plenty of time with Cory before he has to bounce.
Cory, anything you want to say or ask around that? And hearing that she went directly to the listing agent, I don't know if you just found out that news.
Brandy, I never forgot about that. It's a little bit sour about that. No, I'm kidding. No, I agree. It definitely gives you the power to talk about numbers, and to also kind of going off what Brandy said, most agents aren't comfortable talking about numbers. And I feel like that's because they don't understand the numbers either. So not only is this a great tool for lenders to be able to communicate to the consumer, but also it really makes it simple for realtors to understand the numbers if they don't come from a financial background. I studied finance. Brandy, I think, was in accounting or bookkeeping. So, we kind of come from that background of knowing numbers and kind of nerding out about the number a little bit. Most people don't do that. Most people look at numbers, they're very intimidated. That's why they don't like talking about it. And I think it makes it so simple to look at what the lenders put together and convey that message.
Anybody else have questions or comments so far? Kind of throw it out to the audience to play off of this, or not the audience, the leaders.
I'm really curious how both of you as agents, how do you, when you're first referring to Michelle, and granted, I'm sure you have other lenders that maybe you've worked with that maybe don't use Mortgage Coach, but when you're trying to steer a client to Michelle, do you ever talk about how she's able to help make very difficult decisions easier by the TCA? What is that script and that handoff of how you position the lender?
Yeah, I'll talk about that. I actually have a email template that is, it's a pre-generated template that I send out to all of my buyers when I'm introducing them to Michelle. So one of the first conversations that I have with them initially on the phone is just talking about, of course, how great Michelle is, how their programs, may be different than other lenders out there. And then really just the benefits that they offer, and one of them is the Mortgage Coach and total cost analysis. But in terms of passing them off, Michelle's created a great little video that I embed into my email templates. And then I have kind of a warm introduction between Michelle and the buyer. And then they can kind of take it from there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then for me, whenever I'm talking to a buyer about getting in touch with a mortgage professional, a lot of times I will, throughout the qualifying process, I'll hear details of their circumstances, their financial situation, and the goals that they want to achieve. And a lot of times I'll hear things like, well, we're really hoping we can sell for top dollar and we can pay off this debt. Mm-hmm. Or, sometimes they'll say, we want to roll all of our money into the new house so that we can get our payment as low as possible. And so we don't feel so crunched with these car payments that we just got, or whatever it may be. I'll kind of pick up on those cues and say, I highly advise you to talk to Michelle and give her your entire financial situation, because she can put together a total cost analysis and she can show you different cash flow options as opposed to rolling all of your equity kind of like I talked about in the video, into a new house. Maybe you pay off some of that high interest rate consumer debt and make a very strategic financial decision that's going to really benefit you over the long haul. Because, and this is something Michelle says, how often is the average American going to get 40, 50, 100, $200,000 all at once where they can make some very powerful moves? And I think that's being able to make the right step from there. And I just kind of explained that to them, that it's definitely worth their time to have that conversation.
Now, have y'all ever been on the listing side where you have a loan officer who's, submitted, and the agent submits the offer, but with the offer is a link for a TCA? And does that help strengthen the offer, or has that happened to you yet?
I've received offers from Michelle or from Michelle's buyers on my listings. And usually having gone through that experience, I kind of know what that buyer's gone through and the options they've been given. And I know it's not just we check their credit and they should be able to afford this house. I know that it's a very in-depth process that they've gone through to make the right decision and feel comfortable in making that offer.
That's a really good point, Cory. I call them willy-nilly pre-approval letters. When you have a relationship with a real estate agent and they understand what your process is, my process to get a pre-approval letter is a lot more in-depth and thorough than a lot of lenders. And so when the real estate agent when they understand what the process is, knowing that in the best interest of the client, there's going to be a total cost analysis where all of these financing strategies are going to be discussed, then it's going to take longer. But that's the best level of service that I can provide and the real estate agent can provide. So understanding the realtor, understanding the lender's process and what the buyer has gone through to get to the point where you have a total cost analysis means that you've got to educate that process with your real estate partner, because it's not going to be a 15, 20-minute pre-approval letter that is just thrown out there, because we want to make sure that we've presented the buyer with some smart financing strategies. So I think that part is really important, because the realtor typically is going to hear, well, I'm still waiting to hear from the lender, or I don't have my pre-approval letter yet, and I want to go make an offer on the house.
So before Cory has to leave, I want to make sure Sosi gets to see if he has a comment or question, whether you want to play off of what Michelle just said, Sosi, or you have some other comments.
Yeah, I'm really, it's beautiful to see a partnership grow to this level, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you heard what Brandy and just everyone, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot your name. I was trying to look at your name tag, but it says Michelle Castle. Cory. So I was like, it's not Michelle. Cory, one of the beautiful things that you both talked about is you didn't reference the handoff to Michelle as, oh, she has the best interest in mind for you. She's someone who's going to care for you so much. You're not leveraging any type of rapport piece, right? You're really going to that heart of the matter, which is why we all spend our even financial resources, our time resources. We're trying to know from a very impactful level how we can help somebody change their entire financial future. And so when the value is seen there in the handoff, not as oh, you're going to really love her, she's an amazing person, which she is. Mm-hmm. But it turns into, when you connect with you, she's going to give you a life-changing series of advice that is going to be able to help you get your home, because the goal is not a pre-approval, it's to get you into your home. And she's going to help you make really smart decisions so that you know when you're out in the battlefield what you can do, but most importantly, what you should do. Mm-hmm. Right. And so that, I think, is a highlight I did not want to see go past, because I think that's super valuable. And that does not happen in partnerships overnight. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Cory, I know you're going to leave first. Anything you want to play off of that, or any other things you want to make sure you share before you go?
One thing I will say off of what Sosi said was he made the comment of what you should do. And a lot of times that's I love the cost of waiting, where Michelle's team can break down and say, you guys are talking about waiting for prices to come down or waiting for, whatever. all you're doing is you're pricing yourself out of the home that you want, that you can afford right now, because rates are going to go up, prices are going to go up, especially in our market here in North Texas. I mean, the development, the big announcements with new corporations that are coming to our area is just, it's just insane. And values are not going to be going down. They're going to be going up. Demand's going to be staying pretty low, and interest rates are going to be going up. So it gives them a clear picture of, okay, I can afford this house. It may be a little bit on the high end, but I would rather get this house now where I can afford it versus having to settle for something next year or in 6 months or 18 months that I definitely am going to hate, and I'm still going to be struggling to afford it, or not struggling, but it's going to be something that is priced higher just from the circumstances. So I think that's a huge thing, is knowing what you should go ahead and do versus trying to time the market. Because I hear that all the time. I know Brandy probably hears it too, of, well, we're going to wait till prices come down. We're going to wait for the market to crash. It's Texas Instruments just made a huge announcement, and values are not coming down in our area anytime soon. So yeah.
So Cory,
Hey,
real quick.
hey, time out, Deborah, before we do it, because there's really something important I want to make sure we get before Cory has to leave. So hold on to that thought. But there was a comment, when we promoted this yesterday, and the headline of promoting it is why realtors love Mortgage Coach, and someone made a comment. And first of all, the person who made the comment, totally appreciate it, the candor. I don't think you're the only one that has the same thought to this headline. I want to say what she said, and then I want to say what I said, and then I want to hear what both agents have to say. And then, Deborah, we could get to where you were going to go. So she said, realtors don't give a damn, only that the loan closes, get real. So it's kind of like, you get it. It's like, all realtors care about is that the deal closes, and they don't care about Mortgage Coach. Now, my message to this person, I did it in one text, is yes and no. So first of all, there are some agents that are not going to appreciate this level of advice, this level of going the extra mile, and truly, I think, reflect what you said. And then there are agents that absolutely do. And, we got 2 on the call right now. And then I'll also tell the person who said that it's also about tailoring it. Like, it's about using Mortgage Coach where you're telling stories and strategies, and they care about, agents care if you can, in a compelling way, do the cost of waiting analysis and help a buyer get off the fence and into escrow. So it's not about Mortgage Coach. It's that you're effective at doing more than just closing a loan on time. So that's how I responded. Cory, since you're going to have to leave first, what's your response to this loan officer who just thinks realtors don't care about this Mortgage Coach thing? They just care about deals closing.
So I think that some real estate agents only care about deals closing, and they're very transactional. They're probably not going to talk to their client that they helped in the process after they close the deal. So there are some people on that spectrum. I know I can speak for Brandy. I mean, she's a pillar of the community up in Denison. Like she's involved in everything up there. And she cares about her clients. I care about my clients. I don't want to sell them a house and, convince them to go ahead and close on something with a bad loan terms or a bad deal. I don't want to put them in that financial situation because I care about my clients. And so, yes, I want the deal to close because that's how I make my money and that's how I make my living and provide for my family. But I also, at the same time, want to make sure that my clients are so much better off and that they have given the best options that are out there for them. I'm not just looking to close a deal and get the loan closed. I mean, I feel like that's a given. What Michelle and her team do is taking the Mortgage Coach breakdowns and really giving buyers and sellers options that absolutely change their lives and set them up for a better financial future. So, Brandy, if you want to add to that.
Yeah, how would you respond, Brandy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is, that's a great comment, because there are so many people that give realtors a bad reputation. And because there are so many of them, and only 10% of them are actually probably full-time and doing this as a career, So I would say that that's a valid statement, but I think you really should just find an agent that truly has, the client's best interest at heart. And I believe that those are the people that, take this job seriously, take it as a real profession, build it as a real business instead of maybe, your part-time agents or agents that are doing real estate as a side deal, or agents that think that, oh, I can get my license and, get into the business and make a lot of money and not do a lot of work. I think that is really just, that's what gives, the top producing agents, the agents are really out there that care about the client, a bad reputation. But speaking off of what Cory said, yes, I mean, for me, it's never been about the money. It's never been about the transaction. I'm always about making sure that we're putting, the right person in the right house. And there's been so many times where, I'm working with buyers and we'll walk into a house and I'm like, nope, we're walking back out. This is not for you. So it's not just about getting them to sign a contract and getting the deal closed for me. And I really think it's just, the individual agent, that you're working with, but really making sure that you're finding someone, a real estate professional, a mortgage lender, everybody that are doing this for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Dave,
someone
would it be
else.
all right for me to share my screen real quick and just share a little bit about an explanation of a value prop? Because I think it goes right in line with what was just shared.
You can, but before you do that, I do want to
Yep.
just, Cory, we really appreciate you being here. You're welcome to be on the whole call, and we'd love to have you. But I also want to let you just like, hey, whenever you got to jump, feel free to jump.
I think I'm good.
Well, just jump when you got to jump. Like, stay as long as you can. I just don't want you to, I know Michelle said, hey, can you just pop in? And I just want to make sure you can jump whenever. And Sosi, with that said, Deborah, well, wait, Sosi, before you go, Deborah, how are you cool with letting Sosi go now, or do you want to make sure when I cut you
No,
off?
go ahead. Let's let Sosi talk.
Okay, Sosi.
All right, I'll jump in. And as I share this, I mean, obviously, everything created has just been from a collection point, right? Like everyone in this community who gives out, like Michelle does, has been able to influence us to be able to create and speak from one another and echo the same mission. And so when I hear that comment, right, I think what is there is that there's an archaic mind of how to do real estate and an archaic mind of how to see the relationships between each other. And it falls right in line with the vendor piece, where from a realtor standpoint, a loan officer could just be a vendor who communicates and closes. I've been in rooms where I'm speaking to 120 realtors and I'm asking them, hey, what do you want in a lender? And legitimately every answer can fall in one of these two categories. Yet a partner, specifically a mortgage coach partner, does more. And to a degree, even though the intention is in more deals, we all have a business. So yeah, the realtor, just like the loan officer, wants more deals. The question is, which strategy is going to get the most deals? Is it going to be the vendor strategy, or is it going to be the partner strategy? And when we look at the partner strategy and the exact reason why it was mentioned of Michelle, not just to be so nice and lovely, even though you can see that in her personality just right away, but the reason she is mentioned is because of what she brings in regards to life-changing advice. It falls in these categories. Partners help the other partner convert leads at a higher rate, right? That's why I can speak to agents and go, hey, if you have a buyer on the fence or if you have a seller on the fence, shoot him my way if you really want to test my value, right? Because when we do the cost of waiting, when we do the identification of what can happen, that data makes these buyers get past their fear, get past the bubble anxiety, and really go out with the confidence that the buyer agent wants them to have. And so to that comment is correct, but it's very narrow-minded in my opinion, right? It's not looking at the fact that when we bring mortgage coach alongside of a really good partner who knows how to get offers accepted and train buyers, we convert leads with them at a higher level. And then when crap hits the fan in the middle of escrow, right? I'm sure Michelle can even raise her hand on this. How many times does a mortgage coach showing them again, here's what the numbers has changed when the appraisal came in lower, or there's a need for X and they're not willing to budge. The seller doesn't want to give any more credit. Let's just look back at the market and see updated rates. and it took us 3 months last time to get into escrow. Let's see if we take another 3 months. Where price is going to be? Is that amount of money, that delta, worth you canceling because we can't get another $1,000 of credit from the seller, right? And then you look at how we work together with our annual financial reviews through Mortgage Coach to be able to beat Zillow and Redfin and all the online aggregators to the client because we go fishing in a pool that they're not in. Right, we're helping them proactively 3 to 5 years before they actually go searching for a home on any of those websites. Right, a mortgage coach is able to provide these resources to partners that go way beyond just communicating and closing on time. And as a result, when the right things happen, the right results take place. As a result, there are more deals, and therefore even the desire to get more deals is accomplished. So I just wanted to share at least a little way of how we intertwine our value proposition with Mortgage Coach through even just our value proposition of partners.
So Sosi, first of all, that was pure gold.
Amazing.
And we've been talking a long time around, hey, a mortgage coach is going to help an agent improve their conversion.
Mhm.
And I think that's just pretty obvious. So for the person that said it, maybe agents, they care about conversion, leads into escrows. And agents who really care about their clients' well-being over time, they care that they make the most informed, intelligent financial decision. But you introduced something that I don't think I've ever seen articulated the way you just did, Sosi. Big gift to the community is, guys, we're local providers working together and to beat online aggregators. So I love that. And then you're able to show it. So super powerful. So what I want to do now, guys, I do want to focus on Sosi. So we kind of move Michelle and her agent to being on stage to Sosi, but both agents who are here, you're still in the conversation. I do want to make sure my co-host and Mr. Win by Noon gets a chance to talk. So Todd, any takeaways, any things you want to make sure we cover before we bring on Sosi's realtor? I've got the video. I'm going to play it and we transition.
I've just been taking notes, right? I'm in awe of these guys, Brandy and Cory, and talking, with their relationship with Michelle. I think that's what everyone wants. And, I think I agree with you, Dave. I mean, Sosi, you nailed it. I mean, what a great slide to show the rest of the community how they can articulate their value proposition to their real estate agents. I think that's super critical. I would just love to, so I don't forget at the end, I would love to hear how Brandy and Cory are just a script, since they talked scripts before. So it would remind me, and I'd like to just, if we got time, I'll pick their brains about some scripts, but I'm ready to see Sosi rock and roll.
So Cory, if you do have to go, we got to get a script from you. So give us a 5-minute warning or a 1-minute warning.
So
yeah. And Cory, talk to him too, because I think one thing that you do really well when you're meeting with your sellers, to empower your sellers to make some of the decisions whenever they're they're selling this house and buying a new house, giving them the confidence in those numbers so that whenever they are negotiating a contract on the sale of their home and looking to buy a home, making sure that they have an idea what those numbers are going to look like in the very beginning before they even list. I think that's a unique value add that you provide your sellers. So some scripting around that would be great too.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everyone knows, they're recording that other meeting, so I don't have to hop off. I can catch it later. So I'm good on time. They just let me know that. But so if y'all want me to kind of talk about that right now, I can do that.
Well, let's do Sosi real quick, and we will have time. I guarantee I'll manage it so we hear that, because I also love the whole move up analysis and CMAs where mortgage coaches can help realtors get more listings and do more move ups because they're able to make the numbers clear. So this is actually one of Sosi's realtors that was kind enough to do a video. Let's check it out. If you don't hear it in just a minute, interrupt me, but I'm assuming everybody can hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ here. Tola Group, hashtag DJ help me. I hope you're all doing well. So I was asked to give a testament towards the mortgage coach. So the mortgage coach is by far the best thing to happen to the mortgage and real estate industry. Why, you ask? Because 9 times out of 10, our conversation today with consumers, whether buyers or sellers, is the what ifs. a lot of times people want to see, well, if I do decide to write an offer, what does it look like? If I do sell, what does it look like? If I do wait, what does it look like? And I think that is key with changing the narrative of getting people to understand the best time to buy or sell or invest in real estate. And with this platform, such as the Mortgage Coach, I mean, it helps. It makes the conversation easier. It makes it a little bit more convincing to the consumer. And it makes sense. It takes people off that ledge where they're like scared and they're so concerned with the what if, that this provides that element of, yes, the time is now, or the time is when you are comfortably ready. So whoever created the Mortgage Coach, if you can hear me and you're watching this, if I had the ability to give you like a virtual hug, I totally would do it. So thank you. It has definitely made my life a lot easier as far as educating my clients on what to do or what not to do. At the end of the day, the end goal is to make sure they are comfortable with their transition in or out of real estate. And thank you, Mortgage Coach, for providing that. So if you don't like those words and you don't agree, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Just kidding. But thank you. Please invest in Mortgage Coach, whether you're a realtor or you're a lending partner. If you don't use it, sucks for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ here with the Oscar.
Quote, Dave. I think the quote is, if you don't use it, that sucks for you. I think that should be your new slogan.
It sounds like a t-shirt, we need to come up with a t-shirt. So Sosi, man, thank you for bringing DJ into our world. He is love his vibe, love what he had to say. I guess before we get your opinion, Sosi, I would love to hear the other two agents on this, Brandy and Cory. Anything you want to comment there? Why don't you go first, Cory?
I think, no, I agree with everything he said. I mean, it really changes the way you do your, handle your business and advise your clients. And kind of like I mentioned earlier, we're looking for clients for life and referral partners for life, not just the transaction. So he's absolutely right.
Yeah, I agree too. And I love what he said about, really making sure that it's, you're working for the client and their goals, whether they're going in or out of real estate, because that happens all the time, where you have buyers who are entering, first-time home buyers. They're really nervous about the total cost of what that's going to really look like or how it's going to affect their financial situation. And then you have the flip side of that, where maybe you have an older client who's getting out of, owning properties and stuff like that, and really what that looks like. So I think the total cost analysis in the Home Mortgage Coach program really does help out with that. So I agree with him 100%.
Right on. Well, hey, Deborah, I'm going to come to you in just a minute. Before I do that, that was your realtor, Sosi. Any comments you have or anything you want to pull out and share with folks around it?
Yeah, I think one of the beautiful things with DJ is he's become an amazing friend. And the source of our friendship has really come from the fact that we're both students of good advice. Right. And so being able to see him continue to up level and intertwine just certain wordings about bigger picture for clients has been so impactful for his business. He has learned how to read a mortgage coach so well. He interacts with it whenever I do send it to the clients. He always references it. He allows it to be a source of expertise outside of him taking the responsibility and the liability of quoting things, and just allows that to be a thing he points to always. And the result is just continual client conversion, which has been stinking amazing. As you can see, he's a student of just trying to do things really well, almost on every level. His whole studio setup continues to be up leveled. I mean, it's awesome. And so I've really enjoyed seeing him continue to adapt and learn and pivot and continue to make a really big megaphone for good advice.
So here's what I want to do. We got 15 minutes left in this conversation. I want to pivot it a little bit, and I want to include everyone. I'm going to come to you first, Deborah. But here's my thesis and my belief. I believe that there's 20% of realtors, when they see a TCA, graphs, charts, video, they're like, this is bitchin'. I'm in. And they see the value and they love it. And I believe that there are 20% of realtors. It doesn't matter how they see it, how they did it. Who cares? Close the loan on time and do what you say. And I don't care how you make the sausage, just make the sausage. And then I believe that other 60% in the middle, it's up to you loan officers as to how do you talk about it? When do you talk about it? Are you talking about strategies? It's all about the how you're doing it, you know? And I mean, Jeremy Forcier's 5 questions that he asks every realtor is one of the most all-time watch videos in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below. And the way Jeremy integrates Mortgage Coach into real estate agents, his agents love it. Clearly the way Sosi integrates Mortgage Coach, and he's probably got some of his agents that he's not talking about it with, and it's not right. And Michelle, you know, clearly both of these loan officers, they know how and when to do it so that 80% of their realtors love Mortgage Coach. And by the way, if you want to criticize my 80-20, maybe I think it is 20 love it at first sight. And I think it is 20 that will never love it, but maybe it's 30. Maybe it's 40 in your market. Whatever the percentage is, here's the deal, guys. You could have 50% of your agents where you as a mortgage coach is a unique competitive advantage that improves your conversion, it improves their conversion, and it helps you both have this amazing career for the next decade as local mortgage professionals competing with Zillow, Amazon, and online lenders. So with that said, Deborah, I know we had a question in the community where someone was saying, hey, I want to create a video around how I position myself as a mortgage coach. So Deborah, first of all, any ideas on things that our community should be doing? And then we're going to go around the table. Everybody's going to kind of like, here's my how-to. So Deborah, you go first.
Well, I'm going to say right now, the best thing that loan officers can do is you've got to get back into deepening your relationships and doing face-to-face. And the one-to-many strategy here is by holding a mastermind. And I recommend you do it the same day, every month at the same time. So you remove the friction of like someone having to remember the date. But if it's the first Wednesday of every month at noon, because everybody has to eat lunch, I believe if you're the captain of the wealth team, you have to also be the captain of educating your team to make sure that everybody's on the bus and they're going the same speed, because that is your opportunity where you can show them different TCAs. And again, they're real estate agents, they're not loan officers. So sometimes numbers to them are like, so I encourage you to break it down and say, for January, I would show them things like, you know, the most powerful ones, which would be rent to own, cost of waiting, and, you know, the move up. But you've got to teach them why that matters to them. Like, how could they use that to leverage maybe doing a CMA a day, which is what I was going to ask Cory and Michelle's, if they've done the CMA a day challenge, where they've really taken what we know about the market and where can we proactively create prospects who just don't know, nor have they been given the advice that they are sitting on all this equity. And whether that's refinancing, renovating, selling, they may not know. So I would do 2 classes come January, one with your current clients, because I think oftentimes we focus too much on always getting the new client, and we don't go back and make sure that the financial house of our past clients are tightened up. So I created a graphic. I posted it in the Mortgage Coach community. I will have my team customize this graphic for y'all. So we'll color code it, put your logo, put your picture. I want you to use that, post it on social, send it to your database, get all of your past clients in that room and just do a checkup. You know, it's beginning of the year. A lot of people are talking about budget, finance. That is a great opportunity to create several TCAs and possible CMAs a day just in that one class. It also is an opportunity to ask them, you know, you could have them fill out a little sheet of who's your go-to financial advisor, who's your go-to CPA. Maybe you forgot to capture that data whenever you helped with their current mortgage strategy, but now you and your agent can now create a prospecting list that you'll put in your Win by Noon planner so that you intentionally carve out time and you have meetings that you can schedule with these financial advisors and CPAs. And now you're really building your network, but by also going and pouring into the ones who have already shown that they trust you, which is your past clients. So long story short, I would keep the education curriculum going. Again, for anyone who hasn't bought their 1-year pass to the Modern Mortgage Summit or Modern Real Estate Summit, I get so many people that say, I just don't know what to talk about. Yes, you do. You just hit play. You buy a 1 year, I think it's like $100. You buy a 1 year pass and you leverage top industry speakers, share one bit of nugget, and then you just mastermind. And, you talk about what would have to happen by the end of 2022, say for Brandy or Cory, to make this year in real estate your best year, and then reverse engineer it. But you've got to get back to the face-to-face, get your masterminds going, plan it the same day, every month, and make it a non-negotiable. That is a standard, because other like-minded and valued agents or lenders are going to care to invest in themselves to make sure that they are staying up on their financial literacy, so they are getting good advice.
So guys, the person who asked that question, you heard it, the video you should create, and you pick which one you're going to do first, but there's a rent versus own, a cost of waiting. And it's not about the technology, about the strategy, and you're using the platform, the technology to tell the story and deliver the education, the move up analysis. And what was the fourth? You mentioned 4.
No, I said 3. It was rent to own, cost of waiting, move up. I also think there's still a lot of people out there who could do debt consolidation. They just don't understand how money works.
Yeah, no, I agree. In that single mom refi from Alex Cook, guys,
Yeah.
You should do your version of that every month, if you're a mortgage professional. So let's go through all the loan officers, and then let's close out with realtors. So, Cory and Brandy will be with you in a second. We'll go to Michelle and then Sosi. So Michelle, try to keep it, minute or so, keep it brief. But what are some how-tos? Like, how should mortgage coaches, when should they use it, and how can they get 80% of realtors loving mortgage coach?
When the loan officers should use it is 100% of the time as part of your pre-approval process. It's a non-negotiable on our team, because I just believe strongly in learning people's stories, listening to their stories, which really helps when you have a realtor partner who has already heard the story. They know what the client fears are, so we can speak directly to that, or where they want more education or some obstacles that we need to overcome. So listening to the story and using the numbers to help them learn how you can help them through that story, I think is super important. And it should be used 100% of the time. But in terms of educating the real estate agents, one thing that I have been bad about is using, this is like a secret weapon that I haven't been sharing with everybody. And so in 2022, I do a lot of education in the real estate offices, but I want to talk and show more of the TCAs and explain to them. I have, like I said, been kind of keeping it a secret and only sharing it. Of course, every realtor is CC'd on the TCA, but I really want to leverage that TCA for stronger relationships on how we can help them overcome the frustration, struggles, or overwhelm that a buyer or seller might have. So.
Love everything you said. I'm going to put a link to how Denise Donahue is blowing the minds of realtors. It's a 5-minute video, must watch. And between what Deborah said and what Denise says, like, that's the path, and it's all about strategies. So Sosi, which, as a mortgage professional, how are you getting loan officer or realtors to love you as a mortgage coach?
I'll share that I was doing a coaching for a group of realtors about 3 weeks ago. And I showed up to the office, and the last series that was being finished was almost like our Scriptapalooza, but for real estate. And I didn't realize it, but in today's market, realtors are, at least in our world, getting phone calls going, hey, what's your listing commission? And that's it. It's legitimately the equivalent of what's your rate. And I've never put those two things together. And I share that story because I want to make sure that we're identifying we're all in the same battle here. We're trying to fight against conventional wisdom that makes the client assume they know what they need to do. Yet you see clients trying to research because they have something internally going, I think I know what to do, but I really don't know. And I'm trying to figure it out, right? There are hungry consumers trying to find data that is going to put them on the right trajectory. And we need to come in with tools that help us change the paradigm for them and help them shift their perspective from 20% down is the best way to go, waiting until the market crashes is the best way to go, and actually change to, oh, I actually have a financial strategy that will allow me to be in a home faster, and then have a plan to what Dave shared. I've been using the scripting a lot, where either one of two goals will happen for all of my past clients, right? Or our past clients collectively. They pay off their mortgage and have no debt, or they have money set aside in an investment account where they could pay it off with a click of a button, yet they don't due to a financial and tax strategy, right? Consumers are hungry for this stuff. Mortgage Coach is one tool to be able to get the message out in a clear way so it could be assimilated and then also acted upon. And our partners are wanting to find these resources. There are so many sales trainings that still focus on making people think that the best way to convert business is relationship only. It's not. It is actual substance that empowers consumers. And if we do not give these tools out, if you're listening to this as a loan officer and you don't know how to give these tools out, you'll be ready that you'll probably have to find a different job in like 4 to 5 years.
Or you're just going to lose market share and you're not optimizing your success. So let's hear from both agents now. You guys have heard this whole thing, and you're hearing loan officers say what they think. You're hearing me say what I think. Let's go with you first, Brandy. How can a loan officer best position themselves as a mortgage coach in your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of feed off of what Michelle said. So we do meetings in our office with Michelle once a month. So I think it would be great to incorporate that education and training into our meetings, whether it's even, we have different topics that we talk about every month, but even if we could do a 10-minute segment or a 15-minute segment every single time that we meet with her, just to get a little bit more educated on the mortgage coach, I think that would be super beneficial.
Love it. What a great idea. Cory, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the face-to-face meetings, kind of like Michelle said, are huge. And maybe, leveraging your time and getting in, not just face-to-face with one agent, but maybe a group of agents or an office, kind of like Brandy's, get in front of as many people who are kind of on the same path with the same goals. And I think really just number one, Michelle did say she's kind of it's like her secret weapon. I think you also have to share those stories. I know Deborah's always big on talking about share your story of success on how you helped a family get from, the move up situation, or how they consolidated debt, or whatever it may be. You've got to share that stuff out on social media too, but you also have to have a follow-up plan of getting in front of those realtors and having those conversations and make sure that they fully understand it. It can't just be I'll put the video out there, they'll reach, I put it on social media, they'll reach out to me. Like, you need to be intentional about providing value to realtors too, which Michelle's been great at. So that's just my 2 cents.
So we're going to go a little over, but I'm going to let the speakers leave. But just stay tuned, guys. We're going to go about 5 minutes over because it's such an important topic. I mean, the Mortgage Coach mission is to change how people get into debt in America. We believe that there's a financial literacy crisis in America. And if people understand money a little better, they're going to make better decisions. They're going to be better off. They're going to have less stress. They're going to become financial free faster. So I'm going to let the speakers leave, and I'm going to play one more video. But before I do that, I want Todd Bookspan, Mr. Win by Noon, to come in. And, Todd, what are the takeaways people should have, and what are the actions to put this into action?
I think the biggest takeaway is look at your realtor relationships. Do you have people like Brandy and Cory and DJ that think the same way about you that they think about their mortgage partners who are part of our community? My guess is the answer is yes. But I would think about, who's not on that list that I can bring in closer? Who can I use Michelle's secret weapon and get, belly to belly, face to face with them and their team to help grow? Because I think that's the real key here. The key here is we know we're better together. And we know that if we can focus on using the words that we're hearing them all use here today to build better relationships, and then encourage our real estate agents to understand Mortgage Coach and help them become a fan of you, and work on that smoothing out of the process that we talked about. Really, when Dave said, "Hey, we're gonna do this call," as I said, I think that's what most excited me, is the fact that the whole goal here is to make you help more families more efficiently. And by doing that, you're working with your greatest real estate partner. So this is just a textbook call. So thank you all for being here. And I would just go back and watch it. And what are your takeaways of how you can implement this in your business? But you've got to look at your business first, right? Figure out who are the people that I think I get closest to, who are the people that I'm really close to that I can get even closer to. And maybe it's lining up a few more people, right? Deborah said that this is the time to be face to face with real estate agents to build your bench. And I 100% agree with her.
Well, guys, we're going to have another call where it's going to be all just about how to improve your partnership. How can you have this kind of partnership where one, these are busy, successful agents, and their loan officer said, hey, can you come on a webinar? And they said, yes. I mean, an hour of their time is worth a lot. And I'll ask everybody on this group, how many agents do you have where you have the kind of relationship, respect, and trust, where if you invited them to an event like this, one, they'd even make time for you. So this is going to go a little over. I do want to, anyone that has something else scheduled, like leave. It's only going to go about 5 more minutes, but I want to honor the time you've put in your calendar. Deborah, can you stay for sure? Like I want to do a wrap up at the end. Can you stay for another 5-6 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I want to do is I want to play one more realtor video from Mortgage Coach on Instagram. Be sure to follow, be sure to like, be sure to watch. If you guys don't hear it, interrupt me, and then we'll do a final debrief. So this is a top real estate agent out of the Seattle market. She works with Greg Anderson, who, by the way, he started this whole, sent me a video with a realtor. So anyone that's still watching, I would love more realtor videos where realtors are saying why they love Mortgage Coach. So if you've got a good enough relationship and the realtor truly loves Mortgage Coach, we'd love to hear it. So let's check out what she said, and then we'll wrap up.
I love Mortgage Coach. My name is Genevieve Stoll, and I'm a real estate broker with Windermere Real Estate in the Seattle area. And I work closely with Greg Anderson of Caliber Home Loans. He is my preferred lender, and I partner with him on as many transactions as I can because I love how he educates my clients, and I love how he brings them through some of the more difficult and confusing aspects of choosing the right mortgage for them. And one of the things that I love that he uses is Mortgage Coach, which is a platform that can show my clients in a very user-friendly platform what different options will look like for them for different down payments, different price of homes, different rates with different buy downs, including all of the fees, which I appreciate as a local lender are usually very, very accurate to what my buyers can actually expect at the closing table instead of soft numbers that might be much higher when it comes down to it. I always appreciate just myself as well being able to look at that more closely and see what options my buyers are considering so that if they speak with me about it, I have a frame of reference.
So there's another realtor that, you know, clearly loves it in a very authentic way. She mentioned she gets looped in, you know, she says, show in a user-friendly way. I'm going to bring this back to what Sosi said. User-friendly is code word for modern, leveraging media, video, links, because at the end of the day, you're local professionals and you're in it together. So before I have you go, Deborah, because you and I are going to wrap it up with like, hey, here is the plan and the action. Brandy, anything else you want to add for the Mortgage Coach community from your perspective after hearing that?
Yeah, I just think it's a really great platform. Like she said, it really is a platform that's able to break apart different scenarios. And I think as real estate agents, it's super important to understand that and be able to articulate that to your buyers as well. So yeah, I agree with everything she says.
Michelle, anything you want to say before we bring Deborah on and we kind of go into a wrap up with an action plan?
No, other than just, you know, Dave, you said it so well. The TCAs aren't going to be seen as a value add to 100% of the real estate community, and that's okay. I think it's really important that you find your tribe, go deeper with those that do appreciate it, and like Brandy said, bring them into the office and explain and show what a TCA is, knowing that it's not going to be everybody's jam, and that's okay.
Love it. So Deborah, let's just give at least 3, 5, 10 checklist, mortgage coach community. You want your realtors, and again, it's not about mortgage coach. You don't want them to love you because of my SaaS technology platform. You want them to love mortgage coach because it's a competitive differentiator for you that improves conversion and helps them with their competitive advantage. And it helps, you're an extension of the realtors process. So Deborah, give us your, plug and play SM checklist.
So I would say first and foremost, you've got to have the conversation of teaching the agent how to use this as their leverage to differentiate. Number one. Number two, I really like what Brandy and Michelle do where they record a video. That's a one-time, automated email script that is of the mortgage coach and the agent. So if as a mortgage coach, when you're having these meetings with your agents, even if it's your first month mastermind, carve out where, you go into the hallway or you go somewhere where you can knock out a bunch of videos for your agents so they can easily refer you over and already know what to expect. And you guys are presenting yourselves as a unified team. Okay. I think that is super powerful, and it will make you very sticky where if you make the process easy for them to refer people, it's going to be hard for them to, leave you. And then last, you've got to do the monthly masterminds, and it's to work on the business, not in the business. I will say that is what I used my Win by Noon planner for. And I love that there's a real estate edition planner and a loan officer. So it was required. They would bring the planner every month to our meetings and we would okay, let's look at our numbers. How many conversations? And most people don't track this. And sometimes it's just small tweaks to create exponential growth if you actually track the numbers of where can we be more efficient together? You had to have this many conversations. How many of those people have now probably bought or sold and they didn't use you? Like, what could we do that would be more proactive? I'm going to say a number 4, and I really put this for the elite loan officers out there. I highly, highly, highly suggest you learn Lender Launchpad. Don't offer it if you haven't used it yet, but that is the perfect marriage of a CMA and a TCA where it's super high tech. And if leveraged correctly, you have just owned the positioning in your client's mind that you guys are the best of the best because you are high tech. You know how to market, you know how to provide value. It's not just, rate and fee or, sign these papers, you buy a home and now you have clients miserable a year later because they bought the wrong home. So you've got to prove your value now. It's not just what you put on social. It's not just, your client events that maybe you do every quarter. You've got to consistently prove your value with your messaging, the message architecture, and getting a unified front with your agent. And y'all have got to represent as a team. You'll always go further as a team.
Hey, can I add one thing too, Dave, that I see?
I was going to give you a shot to go for it.
Good. So I think 2022 is going to be a little bit tougher for the real estate agent to get the listing because consider how many people we just refinanced in the last 18 to 24 months and put them into 2% interest rates. And so people need to move up because their housing needs have changed, but now they got to pay more for a house and they have to walk away from this exceptionally low interest rate mortgage that they're in currently. So I think more than ever, the cost of waiting, the move up, all of those scenarios, the what ifs and how do I is all answered with a great relationship, a solid, thorough conversation in a partnership between a loan officer who is using all of the modern tools to help the real estate agents get those listings. It's going to be tougher conversations next year to get sellers in the mindset that it is a good idea to go ahead and make the move to a better home, better location, better size, better floor plan. They're going to need us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And for loan officers, you need to help them with the listing, whether it's a move up analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy, any comments on that? Do you want to agree with that and any suggestions you have?
No, I agree 100%. I think that, 2020 was a crazy year and 2021 was even crazier, and we just really don't know what to expect. So I think we have to make sure that we are, on top of every different, scenario that may be thrown our way in 2022. And with the mortgage coach, we can definitely help with those numbers at the very least, look and see what that picture looks like for them and what that might mean to them in the years to come.
So Brandy, I just want you to know, we never go over like this. So anytime you're invited to a mortgage coach call, I mean, literally like once a year, I'll do this. But I think this is a really important topic for both mortgage and real estate professionals. And, my goal is, as I said earlier, change how people get into debt in America. And I do think it's important that we get realtors on our side. Like getting real estate agents, loving mortgage coach, loving you as a mortgage coach, I think is important to the mission. I want to remind everybody, we're looking for more videos like the 3 that are in our Instagram page. So if you're if you know an agent that truly loves mortgage coach and they get it and they like video, we're looking for 1 to 2 minute videos on that. So please forward them on over. Brandy, super grateful. It's good to meet you. I hope you're game with doing another one of these, and we'll keep it on time, and we'll just talk about how mortgage coaches and realtors can partner to really make a difference in your local community. So this call is a wrap. Thank you all for staying in it. If you tuned into this whole thing, I hope you got value. Give us a like so that we, help with the algorithms out there in social media. If you have questions or comments, put them down below. And this is a wrap. Everybody have an amazing weekend. Take care.
Thank you so much.